Okay, well, a lot happened tonight. Some of it fun, some of it not very fun. Specifically with Ja. 2-1, the Clippers go up 2-1, and that's where we're going to start. Yeah, the Nuggets, they could be in trouble, man. I mean, going into this thing, me and everybody else predicted this being a long series. And of course, somebody has to go up 2-1 for that to happen. But with how bad the Nuggets look tonight, that's what's got me a little freaked out, even if they will definitely play better in Game 4. So the game was decently back and forth in the first quarter, where the Nuggets are leaving Chris Dunn open and he's making threes, or Christian Brown's getting open for backdoor cuts, or you got Gordon making a couple of tougher threes. It felt like for a second we were going to have more of a shootout type of a game. And then the Nuggets had a pretty bad second quarter, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. So the Nuggets, the lineup they had out there without Jokic at, I want to say, the start of the second, it was the four starters, and it still was not going well. I mean, Murray for the game, what was he, 23 points and 8 of 15 shooting? Like, there were definitely guys who played worse than him, but even so, I remember a stretch there where, like, he can't beat Chris Dunn off the dribble, or MPJ's taking a three you don't love, or Westbrook, I mean, Russ. This was the doomsday scenario game for they're going to dare Russ to shoot. This is the game you fear. Like, the dude airballed a three. I'm pretty sure he did, right? Zoo is killing him just with everything Zoo does on both sides without Jokic in the game. You got Nick Batum, like, blocking Aaron Gordon or blowing up a lob pass that was supposed to be from Jokic to MPJ. Felt like Aaron Gordon had a few misses tonight around the rim where it's just like, I don't know what to do with this. You're supposed to make that. And then on the other end, the Clippers, all the pick and roll stuff, it was just cooking, man. Because it was a lot of Jokic high up on screens, and whether it's like a bunch of swing passes that become Kawhi open for three, or a Harden skip to Powell. Speaking of Powell, they did get another one of those DHOs where he and Zubac run it, and MPJ, I think, was the help guy because he was the one who ended up coming over on Zoo, who got a dunk, but he was like just a second later than he needed to be, so Zoo got a pretty easy dunk there. They're losing guys on backdoor cuts. Chris Dunn's doing a great job fronting Jokic in the post where they can't get that pass off. It was just bad. The Clippers just looked one step ahead of them the whole game. Now, for everything I just said, you could just boil it down to, well, they didn't shoot well from three. Well, this is the type of game where sometimes the Nuggets just not taking as many threes as other teams can really come back to bite them. I mean, 7 for 26 from three compared to the Clippers' 18 for 39, yes, the Nuggets, because of Jokic and just everything around that, the cuts, the screens, the Murray-Jokic two-man game, they are able to play through the math more than a lot of teams are, but sometimes the math really kills you when you already don't have your best game going. Sure, if you want to just get mad at one particular person, you can probably pick MPJ, and I would like to say Nick Batum, they did it again. It was similar to Game 1, where they put Nick Batum in some sort of a screen action with Harden. He got himself a super wide-open three where Russ had to be the guy relocating from, like, damn near the other side of the floor to try to close out on him. So anyway, now for the Nuggets. I remember in Game 1, as they were grabbing what felt like a million offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter / overtime. It didn't end up being obviously that much, but you know what I mean. You're going to have to dig in for another heart of a champion type game in Game 4. And I'm trying to find anything throughout the game that I remember before I flipped over to the Grizzlies-Thunder game that you can take into the next game. I mean, maybe there was like some Jokic high post stuff occasionally for like Murray getting open backdoor. Or maybe Jokic at the free throw line. I mean, it does take Zoo away from the basket a little bit. I mean, as far as Jokic himself, I mean, he may just need to go into Superman mode for Game 4, man, where he's probably going to have to be a little more selfish. He's going to have to be as physical as he can be if he can get any type of switch. Like, again, Chris Dunn has occasionally switched onto him here. Or, I mean, if he's just got to try to back down Zoo as much as he can. I mean, I get it. That one's tough. With how many minutes Jokic has to play, all the responsibility he's got. If you also want to just get into a wrestling match with Zoo in the post, like, yeah, it's going to drain you of your energy, but you looked really bad and you're down 2-1 now. I don't know, maybe MPJ just goes nuts from three in your next game and there you go, but yeah, like, sure, there is still like some doubling on Kawhi. It did feel like Kawhi once again was getting into some screen and rolls early and putting Murray in the action once again. That's going to keep on happening. I don't know. This feels like a move on from this one and put all of your effort into Game 4 for the Nuggets. Okay, I would now like to go to Knicks Pistons, where people are yelling with each other about, did Brunson commit a backcourt? Did he establish possession in the front of the backcourt? Listen, they didn't call it. What do you want me to do? And also, I think nobody with the Pistons was freaking out about it, unless I missed something. If I did, my bad. Okay, so the Knicks offense returned in this one. That's cool. Although there were stretches of this game where I was like kind of annoyed with what they were not doing on offense, and other times I liked it a lot. In the beginning of the game, I thought it was nice because it felt like they had actual counters to the, Duran on Hart and Cat being guarded by Tobias stuff, until later on when the Pistons flipped it for a little bit, and then they actually flipped it back to the original thing in the fourth. But early on, it was like they would give Josh Hart the ball at the top of the key or on the wing, and then they would involve like Brunson and Cat in an off-ball action while OG is able to get like a backdoor cut. It just forces the Pistons to worry about more things, and because Josh Hart has the ball, Duren's not going to be able to just plant himself in front of the rim. Again, OG got a cut off of this. Brunson also got a 3 when he and McHale did a little off-ball screen for each other. But again, it was Josh Hart having the ball, pulling Duren out of the play. Like, yeah, you're not going to fear Duren or Josh Hart as a three-point shooter, but you still got to go out there with him. And also early on, they just ran a McHale Cat pick and roll. Something very simple. Yeah, Tobias is on him. They didn't even get a switch off on the play. McHale ended up getting downhill. They scored off of something, I don't remember what. And then they also just pushed the pace more to where Cat could get some trailing threes. And some of the times they pushed the pace, it would force Duren to have to pick up Cat in transition anyway. And then about midway second quarter, we saw the Pistons just put Duren back on Cat. And then from there, it was like, when Cat was driving at Duren or when they were running a screen action with Cat, just with all the spacing, I was a fan of it. Brunson got that 3-point play with Duren trying to contest him. But then there would still occasionally be moments where I'm like, you guys are kind of letting go of the rope here a little bit. Like, I don't know, to open up the second half, I think OG had a turnaround on Asar, my bad. And I mean, OG made his shots today. We'll talk about that in a second. But like that particular play while Cat is having more success here with like Duren on him, I'm just like, what are we doing? But yeah, OG and McHale, that's like the dream game for both of those guys. I mean, both of them had steals that led to transition stuff the other way. They both made their shots. I mean, I remember OG made a couple of like tough jumpers in this one. I remember a play late where Cade, he tried to get like the McHale switch, and McHale still held up really well on this one play where I think it was just Cade missing like a fadeaway 2 or whatever. And some of the shots they took were tough. Anyway, I do want to talk the Pistons offense some. There was still, Cade putting Brunson in the actions, of course. And honestly, I'm at the point now where if they don't put Brunson in the action, I get a little annoyed with the Pistons offense. And that can also be with Schroeder going at Brunson, which he is doing as much as he can, and he's having success with that. Or it's Hardaway getting off-ball screens to get Brunson moving. Just anything revolving, making Brunson play defense, I think is still the right way to go here. The Pistons did have some success when the Knicks were putting 2 on the ball on Cade, where Duren was getting some open stuff, or like Asar was getting something. And then as far as the fourth quarter, it did feel like the Knicks were just going to kind of live or die by Brunson and Cat just trying to run an action, because there was one time where I think Schroeder got switched onto Cat and they had something good out of that. But then the Pistons were like hedging and recovering and trying not to give him that switch, and maybe you're taking too long to get into your stuff. And then it had to kind of become Cat do some work against Tobias. And because, again, by that point, they had put Tobias back on Cat. Like, that is still going to happen. It's just ideally you're getting more of the trailing threes and the pick and pop threes. And that was definitely happening a bit more tonight. Like, Karl Anthony Towns is the ultimate weapon. And you know how I say for the Pistons, I'm annoyed whenever they don't put Brunson in the action. For the Knicks, I'm annoyed whenever they have a possession where Cat just doesn't get the ball. He's not involved in any sort of a screen or a handoff action. It's like he's the guy who breaks or can break opposing defenses, okay? Yeah, Brunson had the big one late, the drive past Schroeder, I know. But the Pistons are going to be physical. They're going to do all their switching and hedging and recovering. They're still going to make the series tough. But it did feel like the Knicks reestablished that they're a good offensive team, so that's nice. And then we get to Grizzlies Thunder, where, yeah, I understand. Thunder, they're up 3-0, crazy comeback. Alex Caruso's defense in the fourth quarter was insane. But the biggest story is Ja. And there's really nothing more to say than you just really feel bad. And you hope he's okay. And similar to Amen with Jimmy yesterday, no, I don't think Lou Dort was trying to hurt him. Yes, I know Lou Dort has a history of way too physical plays. And if you want to say the guys played too recklessly at times, like, yeah, that's totally a fair convo. On this particular play, I don't think Lou Dort had any bad intentions. I think he was just going really fast in one direction, tried to change to another direction all in like a quarter of a second, and he was in the exact spot that Ja was trying to jump over. If that is not what you wanted me to say, then I am sorry. I'm sure there are many more aggressive takes about that play you can find on the internet, similar to the one yesterday.